Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Pulp Crazy. I'm your host, Jason Aiken. In this week's episode, I'm going to be discussing The Hound by HP Lovecraft. It's a short piece of weird fiction that first appeared in the February 1924 issue of Weird Tales. It was reprinted in the September 1929 issue of Weird Tales as well. Now, before I go any further, I wanted to point out the image I used this week on the title card for this episode. I think it's a great illustration by Nicole Allman. I'd like to take a moment and thank Nicole for allowing me to use her illustration in this week's episode. Definitely check out her work at cheesecake-weasel.com. That's cheesecake-weasel.com. I'll also put a link to her site in the show notes, and the URL is on the episode title card as well. According to Lovecraft scholar S.T. Yoshi, in his introduction to this story in HP Lovecraft, The Complete Fiction, The Hound was first written in 1922. According to Yoshi, The Hound has been criticized for being excessively florid and overwritten, but he believes that it's clearly written in a deliberate style of flamboyance and self-parody. The Hound is a part of Lovecraft's Cthulhu Mythos cycle of stories. As a matter of fact, another interesting point Yoshi makes is this story is the introduction to the Necronomicon, which is one of, if not the most well-known occult tomes in literature. The Hound seems to take place in the early 1920s and focuses on a pair of friends and would-be scholars who seem to have read a few too many books on occult lore. Living in England, they pass their time by performing weird and macabre activities, including grave robbing. To their credit, they only get into the ghoulish spirit when the proper conditions are met, such as mood, landscape, the right environment, the weather, the season, and moonlight. The Hound deals with the pair digging up a man in a Holland churchyard that has been buried there for some 500 years. Like the two of them, he was reputedly into the macabre as well. And true to his past activities, when the pair dig him up, they find that he is buried with a unique item. Lying in the coffin with the man's skeletal remains is an exotic green jade amulet, carved in the likeness of a crouching winged hound that resembled the Sphinx with a semi-canine face. The pair recognize the jade amulet from their readings of the Necronomicon as the sole symbol of the corpse-eating cult of inaccessible Lang in Central Asia. Lang is a location in the Cthulhu mythos that Lovecraft has mentioned in his other works, including At the Mountains of Madness and The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. Lovecraft also mentioned Lang in The Whisper in Darkness and Through the Gates of the Silver Key. Lovecraft also referenced Lang in The Horror in the Museum, which he ghost-wrote for Hazel Heald. According to the Hound Wikipedia article, Lovecraft and pulp scholar Will Murray postulates that due to the semi-canine likeness of the creature carved into the amulet, and its connection to a corpse-eating cult, the Hound of the story may be an early attempt by Lovecraft at portraying a ghoul. For more info on Lovecraft's ghouls, read Pickman's Model and The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. You should also check out the short story set in Zothic, The Charnel God by Clark Ashton Smith, as it's a cool ghoul story too. Needless to say, the pair take the jade amulet and return to England with it, even though they can hear the baying of a hound in the distance while doing so. And rest assured, that won't be the last time they hear the sound of the hound either. I highly recommend reading or listening to this story yourself to find out their fate. I think the story is actually pretty good, even with the deliberate purple prose. I have to say, I was really pleasantly surprised by this, and it turned out I really enjoyed this one. Now, does the Hound stand alongside Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness and The Shadow Out of Time? I would say no, it's not a landmark work that defined a genre, but it is a really fun work to read or listen to, and it's got some nice Cthulhu Mythos lore thrown in on top of that. Readers looking for a short read will be happy to know that The Hound is roughly only 6 pages long in HP Lovecraft, The Complete Fiction, a collection which you can still find at Barnes & Noble, and it's a collection I would highly recommend. It contains the preferred text, and you get some great introductions in there by S.T. Yoshi. But like most of or all of Lovecraft's work, it's in the public domain, so you can find e-text, e-books, and audio readings online free of charge, including Cthulhu Chick's free ebook collection of Lovecraft's tales. I'll link to examples of all of those in the show notes, including a great reading by Will Hart, or as he's known online as Cthulhu Who Won. Before I end the episode, I just wanted to take a moment and say that I've been noticing a decent amount of new likes on the Pulp Crazy Facebook page and new subscriptions on the YouTube channel lately. And I just wanted to let everyone know that I really appreciate that. I'm happy that people are liking or interested in the show enough to follow me on social media. Again, thanks for that. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Pulp Crazy. Pulp Crazy is located at pulpcrazy.com. I'm at Pulp Crazy on Twitter and facebook.com/pulpcrazy. My YouTube page is located at youtube.com/pulpcrazy. You can also email me at pulpcrazy@gmail.com. My author site is located at jasonscottaiken.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.